With the Seuss estate announcing earlier this year they would stop selling 6 Dr. Seuss books due to racist depictions, there has been many rumors and theories and speculations swirling about that it could be time to replace the Dr. Seuss land in Universal Studios Orlando. Those 6 books were taken off the shelves. Only 2 of them have major presences in the Dr. Seuss land at Islands of Adventure. Those 2 being If I Ran the Zoo and To Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Now, before we get too far into speculating about the land's demise, it's probably a good thing to take a look at what Universal had to say about this, because they did make a response shortly after Seuss Enterprises announced that they were taking these books off the shelves. Here's what Universal had to say. Seuss Landing continues to be very popular with our guests, and we value our relationship with Seuss Enterprises. We've removed the books from our shelves as they have asked, and we'll be evaluating our in-park experiences too. But our guests can plan on continuing to be able to enjoy their favorite experiences at Seuss Landing. That is it. So, what does this tell us? I think that it's pretty safe to say that evaluating our in-park experience probably has to do with the presence of If I Ran the Zoo and To Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. I think it's pretty safe to say that those presences will be removed. In case you don't know where those show up in the park, If I Ran the Zoo is a children's play area that hasn't been open since COVID started, and To Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street has a gift shop in the land. And that's it. It's not going to take much effort to change a couple signs at Mulberry Street and re-theme the kids' play area, especially considering that it hasn't been open for almost a whole year now. So it seems like that is something that everyone can agree on. That is something that pretty much everyone's come to the same consensus on, that Universal will eventually get rid of these things. I think because they're such minor presences, I don't expect to see them removed really all that quickly. I think that's going to take them some time. They got some other projects that are higher on the priority list, but eventually those will be removed and we won't have any existence of these racist books in the parks. Now, there is one other good thing that could come out of these changes, and that's that maybe Universal kind of turns their eye to the other things that are in Seuss Landing right now, like the terrible washed up Cat in the Hat ride, and maybe they take a look at it and they'd be like, hey, you know, while we're making changes here, maybe we update that, maybe we give it a nice little refurbishment. Come on. No, they probably won't. They're probably just gonna let that thing continue to rot. So, yay. Anyways, even though everyone was able to agree on that, it seems like a lot of people have drawn into this line of evaluating our in-park experiences to mean a little bit more than I think that Universal intended it to mean. It seems like a lot of people are indicating that maybe Universal is actually considering getting rid of this land. And before we even address that thought, let's think about how this controversy even started, right? Let's think back to that. Seuss Enterprises went out of their way to remove these books before anyone even said anything. There were probably some people who had mentioned this, but let's be honest. There was no public outcry, there was no mob, there was nobody coming after Dr. Seuss or his company saying, hey, get rid of these books, they are racist. Nobody was saying that. This company went out of their own way. They were proactive in making this change. So, inevitably, when people tried to cancel Dr. Seuss and tried to cancel his books, after this happened, none of it really stuck. I mean, you know, we're weeks removed now. We're almost like a month removed since this news broke, and you don't really hear as many people talking about it anymore, right? It's kind of water under the bridge at this point. And the reason why is because the company already made any changes you could have possibly asked them to do. They already did what they needed to do before anybody even asked them to. And that's actually very nice to see, because usually companies are very reactive in the state. They usually wait for the mob to come knocking on their door saying, hey, change something, and then they change it. They're reactive. But Seuss Enterprises, to be fair to them, they got ahead of it and they removed the books before anybody even asked. So, fair play. Now, evidently, it wasn't that difficult of a decision to make, because apparently, according to the New York Times, Mulberry Street, which is one of the more popular names in that book collection that was removed, only sold about 5,000 copies last year. Compare that to Green Eggs and Ham or One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, which sold 300,000 plus copies last year. I think it's pretty safe to say that these books were not really selling anyways, and that might be why they weren't getting any sort of cancel culture surrounding them, because nobody was reading them. So honestly, not a tough choice for them to remove them from their shelves, I can imagine. So honestly, the whole point of me bringing this up is that I think that Seuss Enterprises doing this proactively, going out of their own way to do this, I think kind of saves the brand image. It kind of prevents them from really being able to be canceled because they already made the change. and they're kind of chilling right now, you know? And I think that, yes, it's going to hurt their image in many people's eyes, but I think overall, it's going to help them down the line, considering they already made the change that was necessary to be made before anyone even asked. Speaking of Seuss Enterprises and our relationship with Universal, you gotta remember, Universal has been putting out Dr. Seuss movies for years, with the most recent one being The Grinch from 2018. So they have some stake with the brand, at least in that regard. But of course, they will not be making Dr. Seuss movies down the line. Warner Brothers will, and the fact that Warner Brothers has already made this deal official and has this streaming platform being HBO Max where they need content to go, I really seriously doubt that they will not follow up on that deal they've made, and I think they will be making Dr. Seuss movies down the line. And with this being the case, even though Seuss is absolutely an evergreen property that will forever be popular and well known, with still more media coming out, it's only going to make it more popular, more well known amongst younger generations. So, you know, even more reason to keep it around. But we know those Warner Brothers movies won't make as much money as a sequel to the live-action Cat in the Hat would make. I mean, oh my, that'd make billions, dude. Oh my. In 2022, the magic returns.
You mean like at Universal Studios? Cha-ching.
The cat is back, and this time, he's not messing around.
Shut up! I mean it. I will end you.
As he takes on his biggest challenge yet, social justice.
Okay, I have a problem with the word dog. I don't use the D word per se because I think it's really, really wrong. Yeah. But I will happily hold your canine American. Yeah. More comfortable with that, really.
The Cat in the Hat 2. It's 4 good claws.
Look, I'm a girl. Hooray.
But you get the point. Universal already has a very good relationship with the Seuss Company. The Seuss Company has already made the changes that they need to make before anybody could even get to them about it. And as stated by Universal, obviously Seuss Landing is doing gangbusters with them, and it's bringing in good cash from merch and is seeing a lot of attendance numbers. So just from that perspective alone, it doesn't seem like Seuss Landing is going anywhere. But there is one important part that I kind of left out that I find very interesting that many people kind of glossed over when reading this statement from Universal. Take a look at the sentence at the very end of this. But our guests can plan on continuing to be able to enjoy their favorite experiences at Seuss Landing. What does that tell us? It tells us that Universal is not planning on removing the land. Does that not tell you that? That's just what that tells me. I don't know. It kind of confirms, yeah, no, we're not getting rid of it. We have no plans on doing that. So basically, what this indicates to us is that Universal is not getting rid of Seuss Landing anytime soon, unless things start to get a little worse here. If Dr. Seuss somehow has more controversies come up about him over the years, then maybe, but just based on this one controversy alone, especially the way that the Seuss Enterprises handled it, I do not see Universal removing the land. And you know what, dude? Since you guys love it when I theorize about what could replace the land, even though I don't think this land is going anywhere anytime soon, fine. I'll do a little theorizing here for you. If the land were to go, what could replace it? Well, let's be honest. It would have to be a kid's land, right? That would leave a major void in Islands of Adventure, make it very unbalanced. You need a kid land to replace the one kid land you have in the park. What about me? No, shut up. Shut up. You are not a kid land. Shut up. Like, kids don't even know you. They don't even know who you are. Get out of here. Anyway, so seeing as how it would have to be a kid-oriented property, this could be where Zelda goes, since we thought it was going to go Lost Continent. If this land goes before that, then I guess Zelda can go here. Pokemon, maybe. Kirby, I think, would fit the aesthetic really well. And maybe we can finally get our SpongeBob land here. Maybe. Who knows, man? I mean, there's a bunch of different options. But honestly, I don't think that any of them are going to come anytime soon. Dr. Seuss Land is perfectly okay for the foreseeable future. And that's really all you need to know about it. I just made this video because nobody else was really addressing the topic. And they just kind of let this theory kind of play out. And honestly, I needed to just dispel these rumors that it could potentially be going. Because let's be honest, it's not going anywhere. So that's really all there is to it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.